Doubt is a splitting of our vibration, whereas faith is certainty. And in today's video, we're diving into ways that we can let go of doubt, let go of the uncertainty that is hampering you from taking inspired action in your conscious creation, in your manifesting journey. Now, this is something that I've been practicing for years, is paying attention to my vibrational state, paying attention to my emotions, understanding that emotions are energies in motion. And recently, I've started to notice some doubt creeping in, some contradictory thoughts, vibrations, and heaviness. And I wanted to share with you some different tools and techniques that I've been using to navigate this, to come into a place of sharing this and feeling more and more certain in the wish fulfilled. So first off, I'm Josh, and this channel is devoted to helping conscious creators embody their awakening. And today's video, I wanted to dive into in the wish fulfilled, right? In feeling it as if it's already happened. A lot of coaches teach that you should get into this state of excitement, right? You should get into this state of like, oh my God, it's happening. What I was asking in meditation today was, but isn't that state this what you would feel right when you get the thing that you're trying to manifest? And isn't always needing to seek that high, ecstatic, oh my God, it's finally happening. Can't that also be coming from a place of doubt? Because imagine that it's already happened and it's now natural for you to have that thing. You've had it for some time now. What would it be like after a few days, after a few weeks, after a few months of having that thing that you've wanted all this time? You'd feel a sense of relief. You would feel a sense of peace. So that's what I've been finding in visualizing, right? Focusing on the goal, focusing on the vision, is that there is this point of excitement, of you're excited that now your dreams are coming true. But as that exciting energy starts to smooth out, there's just a sense of peace. Now, in reality transurfing, they talk about importance. Because anything that you place too much importance on or too little importance, if you're putting it above or below, when something is so important, it's not natural for us to have that. When it's natural for us to have it, it has almost like a neutral level of importance. We don't put it on a pedestal. Because as we're doing these practices of raising our vibration, as we're doing these practices of clearing and healing, in a way, that clearing and that healing is returning to our natural state. And as we're becoming one with what it is that we're wanting to create, as we're becoming and shifting on the level of identity, because if a belief is nothing more than a thought that you keep thinking, then an identity is a collection of beliefs that you keep holding about who you are, then it would be natural for you to have that thing. It would be natural for you to be that version of yourself. And yet, as we're shifting into a new version of ourselves to become empowered creators, doubts and fears can come up. Like, am I really on the right track? It can feel unnatural, like imposter syndrome coming up as you're leaning into creating in a new way, as you're leaning into creating in the way that that version of you would create. But when we neutralize and we don't put so much importance, because when there's so much importance, there's so much attachment to the result. And when there's an attachment to the result, it can easily create doubt as to whether or not it's happening. If we question ourselves that we're not in a high enough vibration, well, that can be a judgment on the self as being too much in a low vibration. And the issue with that is then what I find is it keeps you more in that state that you don't want to be in. Because by labeling it as, I need to be in this high vibration, and it's not okay that I'm in this low vibration. As soon as it's okay that you're wherever you are, right? As soon as it's okay that I'm feeling however I'm feeling. Because what you resist persists. And I feel that that is the other side of attraction, the other side of redirecting your focus. And clearing is that also when you resist what you don't want, you perpetuate your focus to bring you more and more and more of what you don't want. But as soon as it's okay that I'm where I'm at, I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and not even putting the label on it that it's this low vibration, I need to be in this high vibration. Because if you need to be in a high vibration, again, it's creating this level of importance, and that level of importance with that attachment to the end result. So that's what I'm finding is as I release that attachment, as I let go of that, it's like a cork under the water. It just right back up to the surface, right back into a high vibration. And so the other side of what I was looking at this is when you're feeling the wish fulfilled, when you're changing the story to be living in your dream life, to be happy, to be in love, to be abundant, it's that, okay, well, if this version of myself were naturally already living in that, and I'm working with this practice of feeling it as if it's already done, when I'm not needing myself to be in this ecstatic, quote unquote, high vibe, and instead I'm allowing myself to, it's great if those feelings come up, but I'm actually seeking that state of peace and fulfillment and satisfaction in the moment, then more and more of it all starts to come together. And I start to actually feel myself more and more in that state. Because like, okay, what would it be like after a while when it's been natural? Now, the other side of this is a technique called pivoting, which I learned from the teachings of Abraham, Law of Attraction. And this is, again, the idea that when you're focusing on what you don't want and you're in a state of negative emotion, that is actually the most powerful place for you to ask yourself the question, what is it that I do want? Because in that place of the contrast, you get this information that is showing you actually, okay, my emotion is showing me that this isn't where I want to be. What if I was to sink into that feeling, accept where I am, and then to take that information and pivot towards what it is that I do want and put my focus on the solution? And I feel that that's along the same lines, because I feel like doubt is that split place between. This reminds me of Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. Talks about how faith is the elixir of life. Faith is an emotion, right? Faith is a sense of certainty. So when feeling that split energy, I found myself going in and smoothing that out and feeling into the place of what would it feel like if I was in complete like synchronization with my inner source? What if it was that I was to just let go of my attachment to the result, sink into the present moment where I am, And what does it feel like to be in that state of certainty? And I'm like, okay, well, that's what faith is. Faith is that emotional state. And this goes along the same lines of, well, if it was natural for me to have what it is that I know that I'm worthy of, and that the seed of the desire would not be planted within you unless you had intrinsically the means to bring about its fulfillment. Tapping into that divine intelligence. And then I'm like, okay, well, then that is one of the secrets, one of the ancient secrets, that this is why faith is such a common staple to so many religions and belief systems. Because it's pointing that when you're in a state of faith, you're in a state of a emotion of certainty. You're not wavering. And when you're not wavering, there's not that split in your energy. And when there's not a split in your energy, you're more synchronized with Source. So you're receiving the inspirations. And to ask, well, where did the dream, where did the vision, where did the desire come from? And the root of the word desire, etymologically speaking, means of the Father. The Father meaning God, the Father meaning Source, the all-giver. That there are heart's desires that intrinsically have the means of their fulfillment. But we have to become and get to become cooperative with those energies in order to allow them to come through. And that's why I feel this consistently coming back to the vision, consistently smoothing out the vibration and clearing, coming into the moment and tapping into the energy of what would it feel like if it was natural for me to have this? What would it feel like if it was natural for you to be abundant, to have your dream coming true after, like, you've pushed the scene ahead, like you're already in it and you're just enjoying it. And I felt tapping into that state also put me into a state of receptivity to be able to share this with you. Because then the inspirations start coming through. I love language. So I'm often studying the roots of words, and the root of the word inspiration means to be breathed in by the divine. It's like inspiritation, the in-breath of spirit. And what I was looking at is the other side of attraction, right? Action. It's action. It's inspired action. And when we're working with this elixir of faith, of maintaining that emotion, that it's certain to happen, that it's already been created, then we're becoming cooperative with its manifestation. And we're allowing the divine to work through us, to be the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the hands of that source consciousness to be expressed. And that's what I tuned in earlier, because I noticed that when that doubt is prevalent, when it becomes really active in your vibration, it will also hamper you from taking inspired action because you haven't even gotten out the gate. And I noticed this over the past few days. I stopped making videos and I started having these old voices coming up of what's the point, or is it ever going to work, and I found myself just becoming aware of those and then coming into my energy and clearing that and putting my focus again on the vision of what it is that I'm creating. Because nothing is set in stone. Everything is made of this vibrating energy. It's not as solid as it appears, and often we carry the stories of the past forward in our vibration, in our emotions. So being able to work with that, smooth it out, and shift it brought me into a state of receiving the idea and stepping forward into that inspired action. Because I feel like that other side of it is that when you confront that and you shift that story, well, what is it that I was feeling in that moment? Why was I feeling negative emotion? Why was I doubting myself? And I asked myself, what do I really want? And the answer that came was, I want to be expressed. And I thought to myself, well, isn't it everyone's birthright, their divine right, to be fully expressed? Doesn't every human being want to be fully expressed in whatever unique way that is? Because being extensions of the source, of course we want to express every quality that we assign to God. It would just be natural that it would make us happy to do so, to create, to be fully expressed. And as I tapped into that, well, then I'm going to allow myself to be expressed. And it's just so simple. And then there was that shift. So these are the insights that I'm sitting with and meditating on today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you got some value, please hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and let me know how it resonates, where you're tuning in from. And again, make sure to subscribe if you want more videos to help you stay tuned into alignment. That bell, ding, 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 will give you the regular notifications of the videos that come out. And it's an honor to have you here. We will see you on the next one.